And today we are going to be doing the half stitch bookworm, which looks like this. You'll need some beads, so I have these two set out from before. You'll need your crochet hook for the beads, and then you'll need the bobbins wound, which I've already done. Use the pricking that we did from the previous one, which was the cloth stitch bookworm. It's the same pattern, we're just doing a different stitch. Have your pins, pin cushion off to the side. You can either do it on your pillow. I tend to leave it out of the way. And then we can get this out of the way. We'll put our cover cloth on. Alright, and so we are going to work the head of the half stitch bookworm, the same as a cloth stitch bookworm, which is on page 22. So we're going to start by putting a pin in one and kind of letting it lean back a little bit. You're going to grab the bobbins with the most thread on it that you wound. And if you didn't do this after winding, just kind of let it unwind a little bit, hold one up, let the other dangle, just to kind of get rid of any extra twists and that the bobbin might have. And then we are going to put a pin in A up here, and then of the darker thread that you wound, we're going to put two of these guys here. And again, do the bobbin management on them where you let them twist, but I did it for all of mine except that one, just to kind of let it go quicker. And so then here we are going to plait from A to B. So we're going to plait these two together from A to B, and then pin it at B. And then if you've watched the previous video on the cloth stitch bookworm, the plait is exactly the same. It's pretty much just going to be a combination of twisting and crossing. So we are going to have our bobbins spaced out. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are going to twist. So 2 and 4 is going to go, 2 and 4 is going to go over 1 and 3. And then we're going to cross 2 over 3. And again, we're going to tighten and then pretty much just do that until we get to B. And I think another one, just one more. And then we are there. So we're at B. Alright, and so now we are going to put a pin in B here. And we're going to actually bring this down so it's not over that pin. And then put a pin there. And then we're going to leave that. And we are going to put a pin in C. And we are going to do the same thing from C to D. We're going to plait, so we're going to grab the two dark bobbins, lay it rainbow style, which just means one is outside the other, like that. So you can kind of see one is outside the other. And then we're going to twist and cross and do that until we reach D. And you'll want to tighten your plait, which is pretty much me going out and just tightening it. And it looks like, so I might have needed to tighten before that, so we are just undoing a little bit. Alright, so that's our twist, cross, okay, twist, cross, tighten, twist, cross. Yeah, tightening a little bit better. Alright, and now we are at D, so we are going to put a pin in D, like that, so you can see our antennas are there. And then put that down a little bit, and now we are going to put a pin in E, which is that middle one, and we are going to hang our last two bobbins, which is the lighter color, and we are going to hang them again rainbow style, which is just one over the other one. And you can kind of see one pair is slightly shorter than the other pair, so you can, if you wound it like the other video, if you hold it horizontal and then have it roll away from you while pulling towards you, it'll unwind, and then you can get them about the same length. And kind of want all of our bobbins to be the same length, so I'm going to kind of make sure they're all the same length, roughly. It doesn't have to be exactly, because as you work, some of them will get a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. But I just kind of want to start in the same area. And that's pretty good. And so now we're going to take the worker pair, which is the pair that has the most thread on it, which is the farthest on the left, and we are going to use the pair next to them. So in bobbin lace, you're only going to use 4 pairs at a time. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. So these 4 are going to be what we use. And so we are going to twist, which is taking the second and fourth one over the first and second. And then we are going to cross. Oh, actually, I missed one. Sorry. Before we twist, we are going to cross first. So cross 2 over 3. And then we're going to twist our 2 and our 4 over the 3 and 1. And then we're going to do another twist, another cross over 2 over 3. And that is your cloth stitch, which is cross, twist, cross. And that way you can see our worker pair has moved 1 inside. And so since it's moved, we're going to put this off to the side, and we're going to move to our next one. And we're going to do a cloth stitch, which is our cross, twist, cross, and then we will tighten, and then again it's our worker pair has moved 1 inside, and we're going to do the same thing over here. Cross, twist, cross, and tighten, and then we are going to do cross, twist, cross, and just working that through the whole row. And we're here, so we are going to cross, twist, cross. And when you get to the end, you can kind of tension the rest of the bobbins, just make sure everything's nice and even. And when we're here, we're going to twist once, and then we're going to twist twice. And so since we're here, we're going to put a pin in 2. Get in my pan, go in here, and we'll hang it over so it's hanging off of that pin, and then we will work that way. I'm going to shorten these guys a little bit, just because our worker is going to get shorter quicker before everyone else. We're going to grab the bobbin over, so we have our 4. I'm just going to move it down a little bit. just so you can see a little bit better. Alright, and so then we have our 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to cloth stitch back, which is just cross, twist, cross, tighten, and go through that row. And this is the half stitch bookworm, but the head is all cloth stitch because we want a more stronger stitch to hold our beads for the eyes. So that's why we're starting with the cloth stitch, and that's why we did the cloth stitch pattern first, since we're using that for the head on this one. And again, tightening all of your passive bobbins, and we're at 3, and we are going to twist once and then twice, and then we are going to put a pin at 3. And then we are going to work this through again this way to 4, and then we will put in the eyes for our bookworm. So again, we're going to pull the next 2, cross, twist, cross. I really love the sound of working with the bobbins and just that little tinkling. I love the wood bobbins because that just gives me a nice ambient noise to work with. And cross, twist, cross, and then we are going to twist once and then twice. Make sure we are massaging our passives, and put a pin in 4. And now we are going to start doing our eyes. So for eyes, you'll need your crochet hook as well as the 2 beads. We had picked out previously. And so now we are going to pick up the crochet hook, and we are going to go to the left. So we'll move all these guys over and have our 4 on our left hand side, and then we are going to catch the 3rd thread from the left. So 1, 2, 3. So this is the thread we want. So we're going to pick this guy up on the hook, and then we are going to put the bead through it. Actually, let me do it this way. Okay. I might need a different crochet hook. Yeah. Thought I picked up the right one, but I might not have. So let us... Oh, that's what I completely forgot. Not that I was using the wrong crochet hook, but I forgot. We need to put the bead on the crochet hook. That is very important. My coffee has yet to hit today, apparently. So bead on crochet hook, hook up on thread, and now we slide through and kind of make a loop on that. And so then we're going to get the 2nd from the left, which is this one, and we're going to put it through that loop. So put that loop over the bobbin like so, and we are going to pass that through, and then we are going to tighten and kind of place it right where that bead goes. And just kind of straightening things. And then we have 1 bead done. And we're going to do the same but on the right hand side. So we're going to move these guys over. I'm going to lengthen my worker pair. Alright, and then we're going to put the bead on the crochet hook like so. We're going to pick up the third from the right, which is here, pass it through, get a loop, and then we're going to pass the second bobbin through, and then we are going to tighten and just kind of shimmy it into place, making sure everything's nice and even. And these might be a little on the bigger side, but they were the beads that I found that looked the best, so we're going with it. And as you can see, it's not too bad on the actual finished product. They might be a little big, but they work. And so now, since we did that, we're going to go back to our worker pair, and we are going to cloth stitch over. So cross, twist, cross. Cross, twist, cross. And the bead might kind of be a little funky, so you might have to kind of tame it, as it were, as you go through. That's okay. That's normal. It will kind of calm down once we get through. Cross, twist, cross. And then here, cross, twist, cross. And then we're just going to tighten our passives. Make sure they're all nice. And then we are going to twist once and twice. And then we are going to pin at 5. And then we're just going to do cloth stitch from here on out until we reach this indentation at 9. So the 9 is the end of our head, but we're going to end up on 10. So we're just going to cloth stitch back, cross, twist, cross. See our workers, the reason we put more thread on it is because we tend to use it more. You can see it's getting a lot shorter compared to our passives, which is fine. That's expected. And then we're going to twist once, twice. Move that up so we see our 6, pin in 6, making sure to lean your pins back a little bit. Want to add a 45-degree angle. I know I mentioned it earlier in the last video, but I think I forgot this one. And then again, working back, cross, twist, cross. Twice, and then pin at 7. And when you first start working with bobbins, it might be tempting to touch the thread with your fingers, like, oh, why is this not working? Let me just tighten it, you know, pulling it on. With bobbin lace, you want to kind of make sure that any kind of work you do with a thread is through the bobbins. So you're never touching the thread. You're always touching the wooden bobbins. Sometimes you have to touch the thread, but we try to keep it as minimal as possible, so that the thread can stay nice and pristine, because we have oils on our hands. If we ended up touching our face, we might have makeup now. And kind of using the bobbins as our tool helps us prevent more grime and dirt from reaching the thread. So we can prevent it so it can stay nice for longer. Put our pin in 8. And going back. And with cloth stitch, you can kind of tighten every other stitch, every stitch, however you want to go with it. Sometimes I skip one before tightening, just because it's a looser stitch, so it's easier to kind of tighten if you do a few. But everyone has their own preference, so you find what works for you. If you like tightening after every stitch, go for it. If you find, you know, you don't have to tighten for 2 or 3 stitches, good on you. You know, it's your art, your work. Twist twice. I'm just showing you one way to do it, but it's like baking a cake, making cookies. There are a million different ways of making chocolate chip cookies. Your family might have a particular way. My family might have a different way. One is not necessarily better over the other, but it's just kind of what you feel comfortable with. Twice. Then we are at 10. And this is where we differ from the first one. So we're at 10, and now we're going to twist every pair once. So twist right over left, right over left, right over left. Alright, and so now we are going to go to our worker pair, which is on the right, and the one next to it. Lengthen again. And so for this, we're going to do what's called a double stitch, which is we are going to do a cross. Okay, hold on. I said cross while doing a twist. I should really not do that. So cross, which is 2 over 3, twist, and then cross, and then twist. So this, you'll need a tighten after that, because it's a more tighter stitch. And so now we're going to put this guy to the side, and then we are going to do our next pair, which is a cross, twist, and this is a half stitch. And so then we are going to go through, and your pairs with your half stitch are going to kind of separate. As you see, like our worker pair, this guy's here, but the other one's here. That's fine. Cross, twist. So instead of a worker pair with this, you end up having like a worker thread with your half stitch. So cross, twist, cross, twist, cross, twist. And then here, we're just going to make sure all these are tight. And so then we're going to work a double stitch here, which is our cross, twist, cross. And then we're going to tighten and then we're going to pin at 11. If I just pick one pin, so pin here, and then we are just going to go back. We're going to do a double, cross, twist, cross to kind of close that pin, and then we're going to do cross, twist, cross, twist, cross, twist, cross, twist, lengthen this guy, and then we are going to do a double, which is a cross, twist, cross. And then we are going to just make sure everything's nice and tight. And then we are going to pin at 12. And then do another double to close that pin. So cross, twist, cross, tighten. And then we're going to go back. So, and because my body, the end of the body is here, and my cover cloth is a little high, I'm just going to bring this down so I can see where we end on the first body segment. Pin this down, and then we are going to half stitch back. Here we're going to lengthen these guys because they're a little too short. Cross, twist, cross, tighten, and then pin, and then cross, twist, cross, tighten. And if you notice your pins are kind of wobbling in the breeze, just put them down a little bit more in the cushion. They don't have to be super like on the top. It's okay to prick the cushion. That is what it's there for. And I'm just lengthening all these guys so I don't have to keep doing it. So we're here, and we're going to do a half stitch, which is a cross, twist. Nope, just a cross twist. No, nothing else. Cross, twist, cross, twist, cross, twist. And then I like to just kind of lengthen, so tighten this guy, and then your worker thread, and then just kind of thumbing all of them before the double stitch just to make sure everything's kind of nice and where it should be. And then cross, twist, cross. And then we are going to pin. Cross, twist, cross. And back we go. And you can kind of start seeing our half, so like our cloth stitch here is a lot tighter, and down here our cloth stitch is kind of opening up more. Like on our finished product, same thing happens. It's tight, and then it opens and has a more open mesh framework. So it's looking good. The next body section, doing another double stitch here, tighten, and pretty much this bookworm is a lot simpler than the last one. We're pretty much just going to do the same thing all the way down. And again, I'm going to move my cover cloth down because it's covering up the next section. And you want the cover cloth to cover where the bobbins are resting, so it's not going to rub the thread. You can kind of make sure the bobbins are resting nicely. I'm going to move my pillow up so we can see. I did a double stitch there, so we are going to go back. So okay, so we're here, so cross twist. And pretty much if you find you made a mistake, you did the wrong stitch, you can always just backlace, which is just undoing your stitch until you get to the place where you made the mistake, and then you fix it and continue forward. Alright, and as you can see, we're almost down to the bottom. So we're going to continue doing what we've been doing, and then once we get down there, we will finish. And we finish the same way as the cloth stitch bookworm, which those directions are on page 26. And now, once we're done, we finish. And I'm going to do it a little differently than the book. Same way that I did for the cloth stitch bookworm finish. You're going to have some spare thread that you want, and then you're going to take an outside bobbin. And I might just kind of lengthen all of these just to give me some room to work. So we're going to take our outside most thread on the right, and we're going to place it over the bunch, and we're going to bring it under, and then we're going to bring it through the loop that we just made in what's called a hitch. And down here, you can touch the thread because it's not really part of the lace if you want, because as you can see I am, just because that's the easiest way it is to show. So we create a loop, bring down, so we did, this will be the second hitch, and so then we are going to take our what's called magic thread, put it next to, so there's a loop up here, and then we are going to do the hitches again with the magic loop this time. So here, tighten, there we are. And now we need to take the bobbin off, so I'm going to just unwind it. You can cut, but leave yourself some good space because we are going to have to do some more hitches. So I did that, and then we are going to put this through our magic loop like that, and then we're going to pull the magic loop through, and then as you see, we're just going to bring it all the way so the rest of the thread comes through. And instead on the right, it's on the left, and I'm just going to finish with some more hitches with the same thread. And okay. And I tend to do about roughly the same number of hitches on the bottom as I did the top. So I did 2 without the magic thread and 2 with the magic thread, which would be 4 hitches altogether. Usually, it depends on how I'm feeling. That actually looks pretty good, because if I do 2 more, it's just going to get slightly longer, and I like that look. And then you can, this is where we decide how long you want your tassel to be. I believe the book says like 1.5 inches from the end. So kind of how you feel is the best length for you, how you want your bookworm bookmark to be, and then just cut them off. And then we're going to leave this for 24 hours. And if you have, if you're going to leave your work like this, you can definitely keep it on the pillow, but put your cover cloth over it. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, so it has been 24 hours since we finished, and we are going to take our cover cloth off, and then we are going to take the pins off. So you can have your pin cushion on the side, over the other way, whichever way. I'm going to start by holding down the tassel, and then just taking them off from the bottom. And we wait 24 hours for it to set, just so the lace maintains its shape even after the pins are removed, since the pins are the structure of the lace while we're making it. Actually, put them over there since I'm right-handed. And I'm using a wooden handle of a tool I have just to kind of keep the lace down while I pull out the pins, because if you have it tight around the pin, sometimes the lace wants to come up with it as you remove the pin, so this just kind of keeps it down, as it were. And then remove the antenna last. And there we have it. Our half-stitch bookworm is done. And as we can see, as I showed from previous, it looks very similar to the other one I made. This one's blue while this one's purple. The inner one is the same color, so you can kind of mix and match and, you know, make the pattern yourself. One other thing is that if you're going to use your pillow again for another pattern or the next pattern, when you remove this, make sure to tilt your pillow 9 degrees and work in that area, just so you aren't keep putting holes in the same area on your pillow. It allows this area with just worked time to heal so that our pillow lasts longer. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.